Hi. Welcome to Questions of Faith. My name is Pastor Jason of the Federated Church of Wakanda, and this is a series where we are looking at different questions of faith and trying to find their answers. Since this is our first episode, let's begin with a fun question, one that's been around since the 12th century. Can God, an omnipotent being, create a rock that is too heavy for him to lift? Well, this is an example of a logical paradox in which either answer you get the same result. If God is powerful enough to create a rock that he cannot lift, it shows that there is something that he cannot do. He cannot lift this rock. But if he cannot create this rock, it shows that there is something that he cannot create. Therefore, he is not all-powerful, at least in this argument. The problem with logic is it's a good tool, but it can be used to create impossible situations. Our brains can think up things that cannot exist. For example, this is an old one, it's Zenos Paradox. Let's imagine that there is an arrow flying across the screen here. It starts at point A and it reaches point C, but before it can reach point C, it must reach point B. And before it can reach point B, it has to reach that halfway point. And before it can reach that halfway point, it must reach this halfway point and this halfway point. You see where this is going. The logical argument is that movement is impossible because it must reach that infinite halfway point, and infinity cannot be obtained. Well, this is absurd because we know movement happens. An arrow can go across the screen very easily, and God is all-powerful. We see it in the wonders of this nearly infinite universe that he has created. God is all-powerful. But he's not going to do something against his nature. But is he going to ever limit his ability? He's not going to try to create an absurdity. He's not going to try to create something that cannot be created. It's against his nature. But in his nature, he does at times limit his ability and power. For example, Christ came into the world, Jesus Christ, fully human, fully God, and he had all authority given to him under heaven and on earth. He could do anything he wanted. The Bible even says that he had authority to call down legions, armies of angels to protect him. And yet, instead of exhibiting his power, instead of making himself Lord of Lords at that moment, he chose to go to the cross and die a painful death. This shows that God, yes, can limit his power, but that doesn't mean that he is not all-powerful. It shows that he is all-loving, willing to even limit himself for the greater good. So yes, God can do something that limits himself, but it's not a paradox. It's not a limiting of himself. It is an expression of his very nature. Do you have any questions for us? I love to think about theological discussions and arguments. It might be a simple question about what does the Bible say about this? Or what is the nature of God? We will try to tackle them one by one, and if you would like to give me a question, you can reach me on my email. It is pastor, P-A-S-T-O-R, Hladik, that's my last name, Pastor Jason Hladik, H-L-A-D-I-K, @iCloud.com. I look forward to hearing your questions and look forward to answering them in future videos. God bless.